In August, Wenchenge. Late at night, in an old rental house. Lin Xuan left the keyboard with both hands, looked at the screen and nodded with satisfaction. Very good, this plot didn't collapse. Click publish chapter and call it a day. He stretched, his joints crackling. 4,000 characters is indeed the limit of human beings, and the ancients did not deceive me. After graduation, Lin Xuan, like countless social animals, lived a brutal 996 life. Unbearable torment, he resolutely chose to resign and go to sea to write web articles. Now he is an online writer who rushes to the streets, with a meager fee for his manuscripts, and he can barely make ends meet. Although life is tight, he is also enjoying it. Lin Xuan took out his mobile phone and skillfully opened a Game King pesticide. When work is done, it's naturally game time. As for sleeping, young people are not called young if they don't stay up late to practice immortality. After a long time, Lin Xuan resisted the urge to drop his phone and quit the game angrily. After a few rounds, I hit all the pig teammates. Every game is SVP and can't change the situation, let alone 1v9, being abused by the ELO mechanism and kneeling all the time. Change to a new game, and if I play King of Kings again, I'll be on the streets forever. Lin Xuan opened the App Store cursingly. At the top of the list of games is a new game that has never been heard before, Book of Salvation. The Book of Salvation? I haven't heard any publicity about it recently. As a serious game lover, Lin Xuan is proficient in mobile games, PC games, and console games. He will pre-order any blockbuster games to be released in advance. Without thinking too much, just click download and install to start the game. A thick and gorgeous book appeared on the screen of the mobile phone. The cover of the book is extraordinarily gorgeous, probably made of pure gold, the dazzling golden brilliance flickers and flows, the surroundings are inlaid with various bright gemstones, and the center is engraved with strange alien characters. An invisible hand opens the book. On the yellowed parchment pages, black text emerged line by line. Preface: there is a land called Gaia, a rich hometown flowing with milk and honey, and a kingdom of God established by the legendary Great Existence. Here, the brilliance of the gods is everywhere. But I don't know when, a book called Salvation quietly circulated in the world, and the prophecy of the extinction of the beautiful land began to spread, and the people of the homeland fell into panic. People try to interpret the contents of the Book of Salvation, trying to find clues from it, in order to prevent the end of the world from coming. The chapters recorded in the book are terrifying and different doomsdays. Ordinary people often lose all reason and fall into madness after reading it. Only those favored by gods who are 1 in a million can enter the doomsday scenes predicted in the book and explore the origin of those doomsdays. They are regarded as saviors, they are called apostles. And you are one of the apostles. Please create your soul imprint. Word games? There are no shocking animation performances, no moving background music, only lines of concise text that emerge. Lin Xuan felt that the fact that this game could become number 1 on the list is definitely due to the invitation of the sailors. The only bright spot is probably the ability to explore all kinds of horrible and different doomsdays. He continued the game patiently. Please create your soul imprint. An input box appeared on the screen to fill in the game ID. Lin Xuan entered his usual game name and pen name without thinking. Swordsmith successfully create a soul imprint. Click to read to enter the chapter. The pages of the book are flipping, and the thick book seems to have no end. You have entered the Doomsday chapter. Chapter 323. In a dilapidated church, a weak wandering soul from another world gradually wakes up. The bright moonlight shines through the dome of the church hole, and the thick and dense clouds are faintly visible in the night sky, and the cold wind screams, like the roar of a demon in the abyss. New apostle, weak wandering soul, swordsmith, you have awakened. It seems that there has just been a brutal fight in the church. There is a mess. There are dozens of corpses on the ground, most of which are like broken dolls, torn into inhuman shapes. You look around and only find 3 relatively complete corpses. The body of the guarding knight, a strong young knight, with ferocious claw marks tearing apart the blocking cross sword and chest armor, disemboweling him, obviously died an unsafe death. Compatibility, 88%. The body of the black-clothed priest, the elderly priest is crooked, holding the prayer book tightly in his arms, the corners of his mouth are bright red, and there are pieces of internal organs scattered in the shape of jets on the ground in front of him. Presumably his body should be empty. Compatibility, 79%. The body of a choir nun, a young and beautiful nun, her lower body is blood-stained and filthy. His face was distorted and desperate, and 2 lines of blood and tears flowed from his eyes. This tragic scene reminds you of the saint who was rescued from the goblin cave. Compatibility, 72%. Apostle, please choose the body you want to possess. Of course, you can also choose to refuse and use the weak wandering soul body to explore and adventure. Why is the description text of this game so weird? Lin Suan frowned slightly and began to think. Now it should be time to choose the initial occupation. He thought to himself, the opening method of using the wandering soul to possess the body is quite novel. But, what does the phase relationship behind mean? According to the literal meaning, Lin Suan guessed that it might be the fit between the wandering soul and the body. He has always tended to choose mages when playing games, and the 3 bodies in front of him, knight, priest, and nun, probably correspond to the related occupations of war-law priests. Lin Suan decisively chose the body of the priest in black. The compatibility between your soul and the body is lower than 80, and the possession has failed. Among the 3 bodies, only the knight's compatibility was higher than 80, reaching 88. You can only choose a hand-to-hand combat profession, and put 3 bodies for others to choose? Zombies will sigh when they see the game designer's head, and leave disappointed. Lin Suan had no choice but to choose the knight. The weak wandering spirit possesses the body of the guard knight. You have taken control of this strange body, and the memory fragments of the knight's life remain in the body. These memories are fragmented, you barely understand the tip of the iceberg of the background of this world. God said, "Let there be light," and there will be light in this world. God's people live and multiply in the warm light, and the light is the belief that the world relies on for survival. The appearance of the fallen blood sun has tarnished the light of faith of the world. The eternal sun in the sky was infected by the power of sinking, as if soaked in blood, it became strangely scarlet. Walking under the sun, even the most devout believer in the light will degenerate into a deformed demon. The oracle is no longer in the world, and God has abandoned his people. The state religion of the ancient kingdom, the Shenguang Church, split. As the guardian knight of the White Moon Church, purifying the fallen of the Blood Sun Church is your main creed. But unfortunately, the victory tonight belongs to the group of fallen Blood Day believers. The broken memories come to an abrupt end here. It's getting more and more interesting. According to the knight's memory, the source of the end of the world is the sun being polluted by unknown reasons. Sunlight, maybe radiation, which distorts people into monsters. Lin Suan rubbed his chin, thinking carefully. Different from the weak wandering soul, the strong knight body allows you to feel the actual physical strength. You clenched your fists tightly, surging power surged in your body, and you felt that you were extremely powerful and invincible. Brave apostle, do you want to push open the door of the church and explore the source of the end? It seems that the body that he possesses is very powerful, which is a good start. Lin Suan, who didn't get the fei, was finally relieved. Can't wait to click and push open the door. The howling cold wind has subsided at some point, and the creepy creaking sound of pushing the door is particularly ear-piercing in the silent night. The loud noise attracted the attention of a certain monster. Outside the church gate, the monster with its back turned to you suddenly turned around, staring at you with scarlet eyes. You were attacked by a monster, and the heavy injuries in your chest and abdomen made you unable to defend yourself. In a daze, you see that the deformed monster seems to be wearing church-style clothing, and the red sun on the chest is extremely eye-catching. You are dead. A huge bright red font was displayed on the screen of the mobile phone. Death. Lin Xuan looked left and right, only to feel that the word clearly means dish. The promised power is surging and invincible? There is no choice of occupation. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com opens the door to kill the plot. Miyazaki old thief knows to give a relic first at the beginning. This game is really hellish. Isn't it just a difficult game of shaking M? Do you think I will give up easily? Such difficulty made Lin Xuan a little excited for some reason. While complaining, he continued the game. The first death puts you in the favor of the Book of Salvation. You get the soul page. You opened your eyes and found yourself reborn in a dilapidated church in the state of a wandering soul. The furnishings in the church are as you have seen before. The only difference is that there are only 2 complete bodies left on the ground, and the knight's body has disappeared. Is this item a novice gift pack? Lin Xuan noticed that there were 2 more options on the screen. Item bar and reshape body. Do you want to reshape the body of the guardian knight? Reshaping this body requires 1 point of soul strength, and the current soul strength is 2 halves. Apostle's soul strength recovers by 1 point every 12 hours, please use it with caution. As a veteran player, Lin Xuan immediately understood that consuming soul strength to reshape the body is similar to the operation of using resurrection coins in the game. He was not in a hurry to reshape his body, but clicked on the inventory, which stored the soul page he had just obtained. Lin Xuan clicked on the item description. Soul page. The Book of Salvation bestows favor on the new apostles, and after using it, the soul talents of the apostles can be activated. Oh! It's time for the exciting opening of the blind box. Lin Xuan was eager to try. When I was about to use the item, I suddenly felt that there was something extra in my hand. Taking a closer look, the hairs all over his body stood on end in an instant, and goosebumps appeared all over his body. I don't know when to hold a thin rectangular piece of paper in my left hand. This appears to be a page? Lin Xuan endured the shock in his heart and looked at it carefully. The pages of the book are about the size of a palm, and seem to be made of parchment, soft and resilient. The yellowed pages are filled with densely packed alien characters, which are quite similar to the characters on the cover of Book of Salvation. A faint light shone across the entire page. The items obtained in the game appear in reality. There is definitely something wrong with this game. Lin Xuan was not in the mood to continue playing the game, so he opened the browser to check the information of Book of Salvation. I've searched the internet, but can't find any information about it. For a game that's number 1 on the charts, that's definitely not normal. Lin Xuan clicked on the mobile app store, and found that the number 1 place on the list was King Pesticide, and the Book of Salvation had disappeared, and he couldn't find it in the search bar. If it weren't for the icon of this game on the desktop of the phone, Lin Xuan would have thought that this game didn't exist at all. Damn it, what kind of supernatural event is this? His first reaction was to call the police. For any normal person, when encountering such a supernatural event, his first reaction would be to call the police. Just about to press the number 110, Lin Xuan suddenly stopped. As an author of online articles, I also imagined that I could get all kinds of exaggerated gold fingers like the protagonist in my novel. The items in the game can be realized, maybe it will be an opportunity to change my life. His eyes gradually became firm. Feeling something in his heart, he tightly grasped the soul page. The pages of the book turned into countless streams of light with a bang, and the dots of light melted into Lin Xuan's body. At the same time, the text on the phone screen began to appear one by one. You used the soul page. You have obtained the soul talent, myriad faces, unique, thousands of faces and 10,000 faces. Your soul has a unique taste, all-encompassing, all comers are welcome, and it is easy to possess all the bodies. Talent effect, greatly increase the compatibility with the body field +1, can be upgraded. Lin Xuan only felt a shock in his spirit, as if an inexplicable force had merged into his body, seemingly absent. Feel it carefully, the fatigue caused by playing games with codewords before has been swept away, and the whole person becomes energetic, and it can even be said to be energetic. This soul talent. Lin Suan looked at the screen, and the phases of the only two remaining bodies in the church changed. The body of the black-clothed priest, the elderly priest, is crooked, holding the prayer book tightly in his arms, the corners of his mouth are bright red, and there are pieces of internal organs scattered in the shape of jets on the ground in front of him. Presumably his body should be empty. Compatibility, 94%, plus 15%, the body of a choir nun, a young and beautiful nun, her lower body is covered in blood, filthy, her face is distorted and crazy, and 2 lines of blood tears flow from her desperate eyes. This tragic scene reminds you of the saint who was rescued from the goblin cave. Compatibility, 87%, plus 15%, with the effect of thousands of faces and 10,000 faces, the compatibility of the two bodies has been raised to above 80, reaching the level of possession. The gifted apostle, you can choose to consume your soul strength to reshape the body of the guardian knight, or you can choose to possess the two bodies in front of you. Because of your unique talent, the body slot is +1, and the current body slot is 1/2. If the body space is full, when you possess the body again, you need to discard an existing body. Lin Suan quickly understood the rules. The body bar is similar to the item bar in the game. If you want to pick up items when it is full, you have to throw it first. The body of the White Moon Church Guardian Knight occupies a slot, and there is still 1 slot left. It takes a bit of soul strength to reshape the knight's body, but it doesn't need to be possessed. Now I still have 2 bodies, which means that my soul talent has given me 2 more lives. Lin Suan thought secretly. Since you can throw the body, why don't you try to play as a nun first, learn more about some professional characteristics, and then return to the church and pick up the priest's body. In line with the player's characteristics of plucking wild goose, Lin Suan chose the choir nun. The weak wandering spirit possesses the body of the choir nun. Current body column 2 halves, guardian knight, choir nun. You have taken control of this strange body, and the memory remaining in the body is roughly the same as that of the guardian knight, but more specific. The church you are in is located in the town called Moonlight Land St. Lance. This prosperous town in the past has now fallen under the pollution of the Blood Day Church. Even the Bayou Church with the strongest defense in the center of the town was not spared. You have unlocked the body panel. Oh, new function. Lin Suan clicked to open it. Body sister of the choir, real name, unknown, compatibility, 87%, plus 15%, body quality, ruined grade, body level, 1, body equipment, the blood-stained church dress, dilapidated, is useless except for beauty. Body skill, hymn, destroyed, which can slightly recover the injuries of pious people who believe in Bayou, and can also cause certain damage to pagans. Vegetable chicken nurse. This is Lin Suan's evaluation of this body. UU reading www.uuganshu.com. Looking at the series of dilapidated qualities, even if you haven't understood the level settings in the game, you know that this is a garbage body. Throw it away after playing for a while. He made up his mind. Different from weak wandering souls, the beautiful nun's body makes you feel the heavy physical strength. You lower your head, unable to see your toes. It makes you feel powerful and invincible. Brave apostle, do you want to push open the door of the church to explore the source of the end, or stay here and look for usable things? It turns out that it is so powerful and invincible. Lin Suan sneered and chose to stay. You learned the lesson of the last death. You didn't rush to open the door, but chose to stay in the church to see if there are any available props. Exploring, the weapons and armor scattered in the church have been damaged in previous battles, and there is no usable equipment. Exploring, in the drawer of the presiding podium, you found a woman's chest cloth, which wrapped a half bottle of healing holy water. Exploring, the church has been turned upside down by you, and there are no props available. He clicked on the inventory to view the item description of the holy water. Healing holy water, prop viscous, oily milky white holy water with a very slight healing effect. But somehow it was mixed in the chest cloth, and maybe the holy water had other unknown uses. After a little thought, I understood the normal strategy route, which should be, possess the body of the knight, choose to stay in the church to find the holy water, heal the wounds of the body, and then go out to fight monsters. Suddenly, a glass bottle appeared in Lin Xuan's hand. A glass bottle the size of a mineral water bottle, with greasy stains on the surface, half filled with a cloudy and viscous liquid. Suddenly, the air was filled with the strange fragrance of heather. Lin Xuan quickly rushed the bottle back into the game, and shook his hands in disgust. This is holy water. However, the item introduction of this thing is a bit strange, and it may have other uses. I will try to operate this way and see if I can save this bottle of holy water. Click Reshape Body. You consume 1 point of soul strength to reshape the body of the guardian knight. The light of the soul condensed into the knight's body, and only the original wound remained on the body, but the wound caused by the black shadow attack did not remain. Lin Xuan stroked his chin and thought, the setting of the game should be that the damage suffered by the soul after possessing the body will not be preserved when the body is reshaped. Otherwise, if you are killed by a monster, you have to find a way to heal your injuries after waking up, and you will easily fall into an endless loop. Click on the nun's skill hymn. You use the skill hymn to heal the knight's body, and the injury of the body has improved slightly. You use the skill hymn to heal the knight's body, and the injury of the body has improved slightly. You feel a little tired. You use the skill hymn to heal the knight's body, and the injury of the body has healed. You feel extremely tired, even a little movement is a luxury. The body of the nun in the choir is overworked and fainted. Do you want to get out of the body? Click decisively to get out of the body. You leave the nun's body and choose to possess the knight's body. You control the knight's body. This operation is in line with the expected game flow. It not only heals the knight's injury, but also saves a bottle of holy water. Lin Xuan carefully calculated and cherished the only resources at hand. He conveniently clicked on the knight's body panel. Body Guardian Knight of the White Moon Church, real name, unknown, compatibility, 103%, plus 15%, compatibility exceeds the critical point, and the quality of the body improves. Hull quality, dilapidated plus body level, 1 body equipment, broken knight armor, dilapidated, which was originally a sturdy armor, but after being torn apart by a huge force, its defensibility dropped drastically. Body skill, punishment swordsmanship, destroyed, a basic entry-level swordsmanship taught to knights, requires a weapon to activate. Lin Xuan was stunned for a moment. The compatibility of the body was over 100%, which could improve the quality of the body. It seems that my soul talent is full of potential. The quality of the body has been upgraded to dilapidated plus, and knights should be stronger than nuns. The only pity is that there are no weapons in the body equipment, and skills cannot be used. Continue the game, click to open the door. The creepy creaking sound of pushing the door is particularly harsh in the silent night. The loud noise attracted the attention of a certain monster. Outside the church gate, the monster with its back turned to you suddenly turned around, staring at you with scarlet eyes. The monster is attacking you. Now that you have recovered from your injuries, you are obviously capable of fighting against the sneak attacker. You wave your fists and face the deformed figure in the blood day robe. You defeated the sinking blood sun cultist, and the experience value increased slightly. Lin Xuan thought to himself, as expected, after healing the knight's injury, he can fight monsters and upgrade normally. Then, it's hunting time. You have obtained the primary forging stone *1, the cross sword of the rusted church, ruined level plus, exploded equipment. Lin Xuan was about to open the inventory to check, but the text in the game was still going on. You look up, under the cold moonlight, the once prosperous town streets have been reduced to ruins, with severed limbs everywhere, and the smell of blood permeates the entire moonlight town St. Lance. In the ruins, countless scarlet eyes are staring at you, apparently the movement of the fight just now caught their attention. You are overwhelmed by a tide of monsters, you are dead. Lin Suan was dumbfounded, he dared to say that he was playing with dolls. Open the door to attract a monster, kill the monster, and attract a crowd of monsters. Anyway, it is impossible to make any movement, or the monsters will come one after another. You opened your eyes and found yourself reborn in a dilapidated church in the state of a wandering soul. There are only 2 usable husks left in the church. Among the 2 available bodies now, the nun faints, so it should be unusable. Either choose to possess the priest, or use the last point of soul strength to reshape the knight's body. Lin Suan clicked on the item bar to view the props that he had bought with his life just now. Primary forging stone, a magical ore with unknown power, which can be used for the lowest level of equipment enhancement, and requires learning forging-related skills before using it. Rusted church cross sword, dilapidated plus the standard weapon of church fighters, the red rust has reduced the quality of the originally powerful cross sword, and its sharpness has dropped sharply. Forging stone is a material for strengthening equipment, and there is no forging skill, so it is temporarily unusable. Lin Suan conveniently moved the cross sword into the equipment column of the knight's body. Now there is only 1 point of soul strength left, and it will take 12 hours to recover. It is better to possess the priest first. The weak wandering soul possesses the body of the priest in black. Current body column 2 halves, guardian knight, missionary priest. You control this strange body, and some fragmentary memories remain in the body. The corrupt power of the Blood Sun Church has spread and approached. Perhaps, death will come tomorrow. After despair, the priest fell into madness, trying to get the last joy of life. The gloomy eyes looked at the young nun who was singing hymns, resisting, crying, tight and dry. The priest frowned, and took out a bottle of holy water. Very moist, the fragmentary memories come to an abrupt end here. Lin Suan was dumbfounded. This priest is also very good at playing, and he also developed the second use of holy water lubricating oil. He called out Eyes Opener, and clicked on the priest's body panel. Body Missionary Priest of the White Moon Church. Real name, unknown. Compatibility, 94%, plus 15%, body quality, dilapidated body level, 1 body equipment, bright crescent book, broken, the prayer book of the White Moon Church, which records the church's precepts and creeds. The thick and sturdy books seem to be used for self-defense in times of crisis. Body skill, none. Lin Suan twitched the corners of his mouth. This is the master? He doesn't have any skills, not even a nun. Without a big fireball, without a magic shield, it can be said that he is poor and useless. This body disappointed him greatly. Tuko returned to Tuko, the game still has to continue playing. The broken organs in the priest's body make it difficult for you to move and stagger. Do you want to open the door of the church? Looking at the body of the priest who was weaker than a nun, Lin Suan felt that he was courting death by pushing the door out now. Reading www.yuyuganshu.com. Should the holy water be used on the priest's body to heal the wound? A knight who has recovered from his injuries can't resist the tide of monsters. Can a priest in good condition survive the pile of monsters? Impossible, absolutely impossible. Go out and try first, maybe the priest can open a new branch option. The old hinge structure of the church door is constantly rubbing as it opens and closes. The creepy creaking sound of pushing the door is particularly harsh in the silent night. The loud sound attracted the attention of creatures outside the church gate. The monster with its back turned to you suddenly turned around, staring at you with scarlet eyes. You were attacked by a monster, and the serious injuries to your organs made you unable to resist. You are dead. The little monsters will be resurrected. This is a soul-like game. I thought the priest would die in the second wave of monsters at most, but I didn't expect the monster at the door of the church to come back to life. The bright red word death lit up on the phone screen. The mobs will be resurrected, there are no new options. Isn't this a dead end? Whether it's a knight's body or a priest's body, monsters will be attracted when you go out, and a bunch of new monsters will be attracted after you kill the monsters. Looking at the text of the game before he died, Lin Suan couldn't help but fell into deep thought. Old, hinge, friction, ringing. A flash of inspiration flashed, and he suddenly realized. I see. So that's how holy water is used. Lin Suan was not discouraged at all, he already knew how to get out of the dead end. You opened your eyes and found yourself reborn in a dilapidated church in a state of wandering spirit. There is only one usable husk left in the church. Without hesitation, Lin Suan prepared to use the last point of soul strength to reshape the knight's body. Warn. Your current soul strength is 1/2, when the soul strength returns to 0, the body of the apostle will die. Do you want to consume 1 point of soul strength to reshape the body of the guardian knight? The bright red enlarged font kept trembling, and an inexplicable fear enveloped Lin Suan's whole body. Instantly, dense cold sweat oozes from his forehead and back. The great fear made it difficult to breathe, and his mind went blank. Lin Suan has no doubts, as long as the last point of soul strength is used up now, he will die 100%. Don't click yes, don't click yes. Move your finger with difficulty and click no. The blood-red text disappeared, and the overwhelming fear also receded. He breathed a sigh of relief, the clothes on his back were soaked in cold sweat. Put down your phone and walk quickly to the bathroom. Turning on the faucet, lowering his head, and rinsing his face with icy cold water, he forced himself to calm down. After a long time, Lin Suan wiped his face, took out a cigarette, and lit it 3 times with a lighter before he could finally light a cigarette. Hey! Breathing out a puff of smoke, he looked at his hands that finally stopped shaking, and smiled wryly. Sure enough, this game is not that simple. With opportunities comes risks. After Lin Suan smoked a cigarette, he calmed down and began to analyze rationally. Exhausting soul strength means death. As long as I don't use the last point of soul strength, my life should not be in danger. From this point of view, compared to the benefits of being able to realize game props, the risk is still acceptable. This word game seems to have magical powers and is addictive without knowing it. Lin Suan made up his mind to continue the game. The weak wandering spirit possesses the body of the choir nun. This body is overworked due to frequent use of skills, and temporarily loses its ability to move. It needs 12 hours of rest to recover. Do you want to get out of this body? In desperation, he had no choice but to leave his body. The church has been explored, and the soul strength needs 12 hours to recover, and the game cannot be continued for the time being. Lin Suan turned off the game and saw that it was already 2 in the morning. After setting the alarm clock for 12 hours, he hurriedly washed and fell asleep. The next day, at 10 o'clock in the morning, the mutton restaurant. Please have a bowl of glutinous rice and a bowl of soy milk. Okay. The mutton restaurant downstairs of Lin Sunjia did not do breakfast business, but only mutton soup, hand-caught mutton, and roast mutton. However, due to the recent impact of the epidemic, the business has been sluggish, so the breakfast business has been added. Not to mention, the mutton here doesn't taste very good, but the local glutinous rice for breakfast is a must. It is estimated that this mutton restaurant may be converted into a breakfast restaurant in the near future. Not long after, the mutton restaurant guy brought a steaming porcelain bowl. In the bowl is the glutinous rice just taken out of the steamer. The crystal clear, distinct grains of white glutinous rice are still steaming. The rice is covered with bright yellow and crispy old fried dough sticks and soft, glutinous, and fragrant minced pork belly. Pour a spoonful of thick soup made of minced mushrooms and minced meat, and sprinkle with some chopped meat floss and green onions, which makes people's index fingers move. Lin Suan took a small porcelain spoon, scooped out a spoonful of glutinous rice with soup, and put it into his mouth. The glutinous rice grains are fragrant and springy, the broth is salty and rich, and with the crunchy texture of old fried dough sticks, every bite is enjoyable. A mouthful of glutinous rice and a mouthful of hot soybean milk is the beginning of a good day. Lin Suan was ready to go home and code words after eating and drinking. At this time, there are still 4 hours left before the recovery of soul strength. As soon as I got up, I happened to meet the owner of the mutton restaurant who came back from the vegetable market. The middle-aged boss is pushing a small cart, on which is a lamb that has just been slaughtered. Lin Changfen came here for breakfast, and he was considered a regular customer. The middle-aged boss smiled at him as a greeting. Lin Suan nodded, his eyes swept over the lamb on the cart. 10,000 faces talent, trigger. The carcass of a small-tailed Han sheep, a lamb that has just been slaughtered not long ago, it should have been waiting to be fed, but it was met with a sharp knife by the butcher. Compatibility, 48%, plus 15%, Apostle, do you want to possess this body? A few lines of text suddenly appeared in the field of vision. Lin Suan's pupils shrank suddenly, and he almost screamed out. After greeting the owner of the mutton restaurant pretending to be calm, he left the place quickly. The soul talent in the game has manifested in reality. In order to confirm this conjecture, Lin Suan took a taxi to the vegetable market. Sure enough, at the chicken and duck stall where live poultry was slaughtered, the text of the game appeared again in his vision. 10,000 faces talent, trigger. The body of a white feathered chicken, an adult male broiler chicken, after the process of cutting throat, bleeding, scalding, plucking, breaking belly, etc., looks white and clean, with a strange beauty. Compatibility, 37%, plus 15%, after studying for a while, Lin Suan found that only the body that has died and the body is still intact will display the option of possession. My talent can possess the body of animals in reality, can I also possess the body of a person? If so, what will happen to my own body after possessing someone else's body? He didn't dare to think any further. Hurrying back home, Lin Suan started his daily coding work. The Earth is not doomsday, the author keeps updating. Soon, the time came to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Lin Suan opened the game. The gorgeous cover of Book of Salvation was opened, and the familiar game text came into view on the yellowed parchment pages. You have entered the Doomsday chapter. Chapter 323. In the familiar church, scarlet sunlight shines through the whole dome, forming a distorted halo. The red light shines directly on the scattered limb remains, and the granulation on these corrupted limbs wriggles, as if they are undergoing degenerate distortion. The weak wandering soul wakes up in the church. UU reading www.uuganshu.com. You carefully avoid direct sunlight. The scene of the game changed to daytime. Lin Suan vaguely felt something was wrong, and quickly clicked to reshape the body. You consume 1 point of soul strength to reshape the body of the guardian knight. Current soul strength 1/2. The light of the soul condenses into the body of the knight, and the weak wandering soul is possessed in it. You clenched your fists tightly, surging power surged in your body, and you felt that you were extremely powerful and invincible. A mournful howl echoes in the church. Under the direct rays of the sun, the wreckage of only the upper body was horribly deformed, and the monster covered with sarcoids waved its jointed limbs to attack you. You took control of the strong body of the knight in time, wielding the corroded church cross sword, and using the disciplined sword technique to face the monster, you easily defeated the sinking White Moon sect, and the experience value increased slightly. The power in the body begins to boil, and the level of the guardian knight's body has increased. The current level of the body is 2. You have become stronger. Monsters can also be spawned in the safe house. This game is like hell. Fortunately, I possessed the body in time, otherwise there is a high probability that I will be taken by a dog. What will happen if the reaction is slow and you are killed in the form of a wandering spirit? Lin Suan's intuition told him that it is best not to die in the form of a wandering spirit, otherwise something terrible might happen. Open the body panel. The knight's panel is the same as before, except that the body level has become 2. Apostle, do you want to push open the door of the church and continue exploring? You have learned from the experience of the last death, hesitated to linger beside the gate, and did not rush forward. Lin Xuan began to verify, breaking away from the conjecture of the Matryoshka cycle. Open the item bar and click on Holy Water of Healing. The witty apostle seems to have discovered something. 1. Drink the holy water in one gulp, which can heal the wound. Although you are not traumatized at the moment, the unique taste of holy water may leave you with endless aftertaste. 2. The body of the nun is still lying on the ground, maybe you can learn from the priest in black and experience the last joy. 3. Hidden option, the hinge structure of the church door has been in disrepair for a long time, maybe you can use holy water to give it a second spring. Sure enough, this game is not as good as changing its name to 100 Ways of Holy Water. You apply the holy water of healing on the hinge of the church door. The viscous, creamy liquid makes the rusted hinges shiny. It has successfully rejuvenated for a second time, and it will never groan without illness. You push open the door of the church, the whole process is extremely smooth, and the harsh sound of pushing the door did not sound as expected. Outside the door, the Blood Day cultists who were facing away from you didn't notice either. Are you going to sneak attack him? Lin Xuan's eyes lit up, and he pressed yes without hesitation. You approached the monster on tiptoe, taking advantage of its unawares and piercing its back with your sword. You defeated the Sinking Blood Sun cultist, and the experience value increased slightly. Your sneak attack didn't make much movement, and the monsters hidden in the ruins of the town didn't notice you. If you don't make a sound, you won't attract monsters. Lin Xuan managed to escape the fate of being beaten to death by a group of monsters. You look at the monster shell in front of you, Sinking Blood Day believers, believers who believe in the filthy Blood Day, the fallen power causes certain distortions in the body. It was attacked insidiously, and died of a broken heart. Compatibility, 81, plus 15%, the compatibility of this monster is just on the passing line for possession. If I hadn't drawn the talent of thousands of faces, then this body would have no chance for me. At present, there are knights and priests in the body column, and there is no free space. If you want to possess a Blood Sun cultist, you must first give up a body. You are exposed to the sun, and your sanity is gradually drifting away from you. You suddenly find that the bright red sun in the sky has become radiant, divinely dazzling. And the bright crescent moon of your faith is disgustingly nasty. What? You can't help but praise the sun. You maniacally tore the armor on your chest, just because it was engraved with the symbol of the bright and clean crescent moon. Madness is about to take over your body, is this going to be deformed? No time to hesitate. Lin Xuan discarded the useless priest in the body column, and quickly clicked on the body to possess. You are possessed by the body of the Sinking Blood Sun cultist. You gradually regain your reason, and the impact of the sun on your head has become negligible. The only remaining memory in this body is praise the sun. Lin Xuan sighed that he had escaped. After you leave the body, the knight's body turns into a little bit of starlight and dissipates with the wind, waiting for your next reshaping. The knight's body has not suffered fatal damage, and the next reshape does not need to consume soul strength. It seems that as long as you are not killed by monsters, you can change your body without consumption. This setting is not bad, not so dark. Click on the shell panel to view the newly acquired shell. Body Sinking Blood Sun cultist. Real name, unknown. Compatibility, 81%, plus 15%, body quality, dilapidated body level, 1 body equipment, a blunt short dagger, broken, a dagger often used by thieves, drinking blood makes the blade blunt. Body skills, backstab, destroyed, an entry-level skill for thieves, with extremely weak frontal combat capabilities, suitable for sneak attacks and sap. This body has both weapons and skills. It is weaker than a knight and stronger than a priest, and it seems to be an assassin. Lin Xuan nodded in satisfaction. You look up and see that the White Moon Church is located in the center of the town, at the most prosperous intersection of Saint Lance in the past. You look at the ruins in front of you, wondering where to go. East on the left, you remember that most of the tide-like monsters are lurking on this road. For some reason, you have an inexplicable fondness for the east. Oh! It turns out that is the direction of the sunrise. The south in front of the church, you look as far as your eye can see, at the end of the deserted road, there seems to be a monster blocking the way. The scales and half-claws exposed from the shadow of the ruins are huge. During the movement, the earth roared and trembled, stirring up circles of scarlet air waves. West on the right, the tallest landmark of St. Lance, the bell tower of Artemis, has collapsed, and a hill of masonry blocks your way. North behind the church, a heavy metal fence gate spans both ends of the road, and there is a lever device to open the gate beside the gate. Lin Suan frowned and looked at the options in front of him. It seemed that there were many paths to choose from, but in fact they were not. There are many monsters in the east, and the knight was killed once by the tide of monsters there, so he couldn't leave. The monster in the south is obviously a boss, and now it is to play a lantern in the hood looking for death. The west side is a dead end, and there is no way to go. Only the metal fence gate in the north seems to be able to open. You walked north and came to the metal gate. You pull the lever hard, and the gears click and click. You wait for the door to open, but the echoing snapping sound is suddenly interrupted. You looked at the lever handle suspiciously. There was a diamond-shaped depression on the handle's stigma, which seemed to be able to place some kind of token. You lack relevant tokens and cannot open the door. Dead end again? Lin Suan was dumbfounded. Reading www.yuyuganshu.com has only one path to choose from, and there is no way to open the door? Countless scarlet eyes are staring at you. Obviously the movement of opening the door just now has attracted their attention. Tide-like monsters are attacking you. Lin Suan shook his hands. It's over, he wants to stop cooking. It's only been a few minutes since it went online today, and the anti-addiction system has to be turned on again. Dozens of sinking blood sun cultists surrounded you. They looked at you suspiciously, shook their heads one after another, and receded like a tide. What's the matter, little brother? This underworld game conscience found? Lin Suan suddenly realized when his eyes fell on the body of the sinking blood sun cultist in the body column. I'm their kind now, no wonder. That is to say, the road full of monsters in the east can be walked. Even. His eyes lit up, and a kind of coquettish operation flashed through his mind. You retreat to the intersection where the church is. Apostle, which direction do you want to go? You set foot on the road to the east. The scarlet sun of the day is shining, and the streets of the town are filled with a strange bright red halo, and you feel very comfortable. There are dozens of monsters on both sides of the road, and they are also quietly enjoying the sun, turning a blind eye to your arrival. You passed through the group of monsters without any risk. In front of the road is a 4-story tower filled with scarlet breath. Do you want to continue moving forward? Of course, choose no. Lin Suan had some expectations in his heart, and he didn't know whether the next action would be successful. Fight it. Give it a try, the bicycle becomes a motorcycle. If you win the young model in the club, if you lose, you go to work in the sea. It's a waste of 1 point of soul strength. You didn't rush forward, but retreated into the group of monsters. Lin Suan opened the skill bar of the body and chose backstab. Audacious apostle, you are trying to sneak attack the monster. You use backstab to stab the dagger into the back of the monster. You have defeated the sinking blood sun cultist, and the experience value has increased slightly. You got the foul-smelling bezoar, waste. The monsters around you heard the noise and turned to look at you, their scarlet eyes glowing dangerously. What should you do? 1. Escape from the scene of the crime. Maybe as long as you run fast enough, the monster will not be able to catch up with you. If you are caught up, 2. Let out a loud roar and raise your knife to resist. This may make your death less complete, but more dignified. 3. Praise the sun. Do you even need to think about it? 2 long and 1 short, of course choose the short. Properly sending the sub-questions, Lin Suan pressed the option. You raise your hand to look at the sun, and make a sound of praise from time to time. The monsters also follow you to praise the sun after seeing this, then they turn their heads back, as if nothing happened. It's done! Lin Suan shouted excitedly, this way, I can spawn monsters infinitely. Lin Suan, who found the bug, started a crazy backstab. You have defeated the sinking blood sun cultist, and the experience value has increased slightly. The power in the body begins to boil, and the body level of the sinking blood sun cultist has increased. The current body level, 2. You have defeated the sinking blood sun cultist, and the experience value has increased slightly. You got rags, waste. You have defeated the sinking blood sun cultist, and the experience value has increased slightly. The power in the body begins to boil, and the body level of the sinking blood sun cultist has increased. The current body level, 3. You have obtained a weak spirituality, props, that is about to disappear. You have defeated the sinking blood sun cultist, and the experience value has increased slightly. The power in the body begins to boil, and the body level of the sinking blood sun cultist has increased. The current body level, 5. You got poisoned flying knife *1, throwing props. You have defeated the sinking blood sun cultist, and the experience value has increased slightly. The power in the body begins to boil, and the body level of the sinking blood sun cultist has increased. The current body level, 7. The monsters around have been slaughtered, you don't have to pretend to praise the sun anymore. This is the end? Lin Suan was enjoying himself, indulging in the pleasure of harvesting vegetables, unable to extricate himself for a long time. After thinking about it, as long as the body dies once, the mobs will be refreshed, and they can continue to collect vegetables, so he is relieved. Lin Suan noticed that during the frequent slashing of monsters, the game text displayed the words "you feel a little tired." But it seems that after the body is upgraded, the state of the body will be refreshed, and it will not be like a nun who is overworked and faints. Click on the item bar to view the items you just harvested. Smelly Bezoar, waste, 3 scrap, waste, 2 weak spirituality that is about to disappear. Props. The weak spirituality that remains on the body and is about to disappear can get 5 points of spirituality after use. Poison hardened throwing knife, throwing prop. A throwing knife that has been hardened by poison, the blade is shining with a faint blue color, and it is not suitable for people who are used to licking blood from the edge of the knife. The throwing knife is obviously a one-time attack prop, and the mobs can burst out, so it is estimated that the power will not be too strong. It is the weak soul that is about to disappear that makes Lin Suan a little interested. Click to use. You have gained 5 points of spirituality. Once the text appears, there are no more changes. He searched around, but did not find relevant information in the body panel, but instead saw spirituality, 5 in the lower right corner of the item bar. These 8 achievements are the currency in the game. Lin Suan, who is a veteran of the 4th natural disaster, knows everything. The capacity of the inventory seems to be unlimited, so he doesn't throw away the waste that the mobs burst out. This is a sequela of playing survival games. It's fun to pick up trash. Lin Suan grinned, and with the urine nature of this game, a bottle of holy water can be used as a key to decrypt it. If you don't keep it all, these trash can be turned into treasure. In front of the road is a 4-story tower filled with scarlet breath. Do you want to continue moving forward? You are on the way forward. The tower built of boulders is filled with scarlet breath, and the power of corruption is gradually spreading. The tower is built on a huge high platform with 4 floors. The crescent moon sculpture standing on the top floor has been transformed into a blood sun. You push open the heavy door of the tower, and a vast and empty hall appears in front of your eyes. The stumps and broken arms in the hall piled up into a hill, and the stench permeated everywhere. You infer from the broken armor and weapons on the body that these corpses are the town's resident soldiers. Deep in the hall, a spiral staircase extends to the 2nd floor of the tower. Do you continue to move forward, or stop here and search for something useful? Lin Xuan's eyes lit up, it was time for the treasure hunt. Greedy apostle, you choose to dig 3 feet into the ground. You got half a shield, waste, you got the broken long sword, scrap. Looking at the waste products that kept appearing in front of him, Lin Xuan could only comfort himself, picking up trash, it's not shabby. You got a black rivet collar, props, shipped. Quickly click on the item bar. Black rivet collar, prop, a black leather collar covered with dense spikes. After use, there is a small chance that some creatures who are accustomed to submitting will feel strong stimulation and faint. If the probability is not triggered, the item will not be consumed. What SM is this? Lin Xuan couldn't understand it, but was greatly shocked. After searching the hall, click to continue. You continue to move forward, gradually approaching the spiral staircase. You found that at the entrance of the steps, there was a wolfhound the size of a calf. It lies on the scattered wreckage of soldiers, covered in corruption and scarlet. In its sleep, it bared its teeth and shrugged from time to time, and shed foul-smelling saliva. What should you do? 1. Touched quietly, praying that I would not make a sound, and sneaked over the wolf dog and climbed the stairs. 2. Raise the dagger, let it fall asleep, and let it stay in the dream forever with a knife. 3. Put a collar on it, reading www.yuyuganshu.com. Maybe that kind of strong stimulation will make it have no time to take your existence into consideration. After a little thought, according to the underworld level of this game, 1 and 2 should both be death options, and only 3 is in line with the game flow. But Lin Xuan noticed the item introduction on the collar, among which the words success, small probability made him vigilant. Is this gambling luck? Go upstairs if you succeed, and become dog food if you don't succeed. Skipping classes would cost his life, which made Lin Xuan unable to complain. No, I'm already level 7. According to the normal game flow, if you don't have the talent of thousands of faces, you can't possess the body of the Blood Sun cultist at all, and you can't upgrade due to bugs. That is to say, the current me is beyond the level of the normal process. Lin Xuan no longer hesitated, and decisively chose option 2. Fearless Apostle, you have chosen the most heroic move. You raise your knife close to the wolfhound the size of a calf, and slam it into its head. The wolf dog wakes up instantly and bites you. What? It died? You have defeated the sinking wolfhound, and the experience value has increased slightly. You have obtained a small piece of spirituality, props, that is about to disappear. You got the fangs of the wolf dog, material. You got the fur of the wolf dog, material. Sure enough, miracles are done vigorously, and players never skip class. Lin Xuan looked at the items he had just obtained. Tusks and fur are materials for forging weapons and equipment, which require forging skills to use. A large piece of spirituality that is about to disappear, use it to get 20 points of spirituality, and he uses it directly. You look at the wolf dog who died tragically in front of you. The body of the fallen wolf dog. The body of the fallen wolf dog, the wolf dog infected by the corrupted force. The size of the wolf dog increases after distortion. The remaining blood hole on the forehead and the astonished and unwilling eyes revealed that it died in a surprise attack. Compatibility, 46, plus 15%, affinity is so low, I can't possess. Lin Xuan fell into deep thought. In reality, the compatibility of the bodies of poultry and livestock he saw was also very low. The humanoid body that I possessed before has a relatively high affinity, and it can be easily possessed with the blessing of talents. Combining the phases of young knights, elderly priests, and nuns of the opposite sex. Lin Xuan guessed that the more similar the body is to himself, the higher the compatibility will be. You ascend the spiral staircase leading to the second floor of the tower. You go up the stairs and come to the second floor of the tower. In the vast hall, the lights are bright, and under the orange light, the tall bookshelves are neatly set up, row upon row, and there are countless books in them. The unique scent of ink rushes into your nostrils. You vaguely hear an old voice chanting silently. You walk through the bookshelves, looking for the sound, and find an old man in black robes sitting on a rocking chair, wearing monocular glasses, silently reading a book in his hand. Do you want to come forward to say hello? You step forward quickly, intending to talk to the old man. The old man in black robe raised his head, his eyes playful. He shakes his head, refuses to talk to you, and offers you an item. You got the invasion bookmark, prop after use, you can invade the chapters of other apostles. After defeating the apostle, you will get unexpected benefits. Lin Suan was shocked. This word game is not a standalone game, but an online game. Doesn't this mean that there are other players? Even, he is not the only one who has acquired magical powers in the game. Before Lin Suan came back to his senses, the game text was still displayed. The old man stood up, with a mocking look in his eyes. He chanted the spell silently, and his figure gradually became translucent. Your eyes are flickering red, and the whole world is trembling faintly. You have been invaded by unknown apostles. The big blood-red characters trembled, and Lin Suan suddenly came back to his senses. A figure with flashing red light appears in front of you. It is the apostle of the invader. He is approaching you with a short gun. What should you do? 1. Kneel down and beg for mercy, and pray that the apostles who are also favored by God will show mercy and spare your life. 2. Raise the dagger and fight hard, let him understand what it means to be a soldier who can be killed but not humiliated. As a veteran game player, Lin Suan knows that those who dare to take the initiative to PvP in the game have a few tricks. So he decisively chooses 2. What a joke! Even if I die, I must die with dignity. Heroic apostle, you show a cruel smile, raise your weapon, and face the invaders. You easily defeated the invading apostle Brother Big Hang, and the experience value increased slightly. Lin Suan slowly typed 3 question marks, but the expected word death did not appear. He killed the invaders back, and easily defeated them. You have inherited the spirituality of the invading apostle. 105 You got the guardian bookmark, props. The old man in black robe looked at you in astonishment, lost his expression control, and even dropped the monocle on the bridge of his nose to the ground. He hastily cursed and hid his figure, and disappeared. You got the librarian's monocle, a rare item. A series of unexpected plots made Lin Suan twitch his lips. Su Ji bowed his body and held his mobile phone. You have defeated the stranded Murloc, and the experience value has increased slightly. You got the bookmark, props, of the first timer, damn it. Su Ji almost shouted, covered his mouth, suppressed ecstasy, carefully raised his head to look at the teacher in front of the podium, and seeing that he didn't notice, he turned his gaze back to the phone screen. As a senior player who has just entered the second chapter, he knows very well that bookmarks for first-timers is a kind of welfare item. When entering the first chapter, he met the librarian in a secret room, harvested an invasion bookmark, and then, hung up, died of the apostles' invasion, and lost all his spirituality. Amidst the ridicule of the librarian, he got another revenge bookmark. The hateful black-cropped old man told him, remember the apostles who invaded your chapter, and when you become stronger, you can use the revenge bookmark to regain what you lost. If you are lucky, the bookmarks of the first-timers will pop up after you fight monsters. It was a one-time prop that could invade the new apostles, and it was called a welfare Easter egg. Newly promoted apostles often don't know how to keep spiritual props, and they will use them when they encounter monsters that burst out with spiritual power, and they will more or less have some on them. Invading the newly promoted apostles is like beating a child and giving away spirituality for nothing. If this is not a welfare, what is it? Su Ji quickly clicked to use. Invading, you invaded the chapter of the unknown apostle. The weak apostle with white light shining on his body trembled with fright when he saw you. The mighty apostle, how should you treat him? 1. Forcing him to kneel. If you are in a good mood, you may choose to spare his life. 2. Raise the short gun in your hand and let him know what cruelty is. Su Ji pressed the second choice, a gleam of pleasure flashed in his eyes, and he showed a cruel smile. You raised the short spear in your hand and stabbed cruelly at the weak apostle, you are dead. Su Ji's smile froze. The invasion failed, the apostle Swordsmith easily defeated you and inherited all your spirituality. You return to your chapter. Wang Defa? I'm level 5, why would I die in the hands of a rookie? There must be a bug in this game. Su Ji couldn't believe his eyes. Forget it, forget it. I'm unlucky, I ran into a bug. He comforted himself in this way, and began to reshape his body. Fortunately, I still have some spiritual props in my body, so I will go to an NPC to buy some supplies now, otherwise I will lose everything. There is no way to fight the small boss. You used the weak spirituality that is about to disappear. 5. You used a small piece of spirituality that is about to disappear. 3. You used a large piece of spirituality that is about to disappear. *1. You gained spirituality, 75. However, the text on the phone continued to display. Your eyes are flickering red, and the whole world is trembling faintly. You have been invaded by unknown apostles. What the hell? I was hacked? Su Ji fell into a daze. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com. A flashing red figure appeared in front of you. That familiar figure seemed to be the new apostle just now. He approached you with a dagger in his hand. What should you do? 1. Kneel down and beg for mercy, and pray that the apostles who are also favored by God will show mercy and spare your life. 2. Raise the short spear and fight hard. Let him understand what it means that a soldier can be killed but not humiliated. Damn! I just ran out of spiritual props, this is the only 75 spiritual points I have left. Su Ji cried silently, and silently chose 1, Brother, please do me a favor, I was wrong, if you know you are so fierce, how dare I invade you? Su Ji prayed silently, praying that the new apostle named Swordsmith would let him go. The other party rejected your begging for mercy, and stabbed you with a knife, you are dead. You dropped 75 points of spirituality. Fuck. Su Ji punched heavily on the desk with a bang, which attracted the attention of the whole class. Su Ji! What are you doing? Playing with your mobile phone during class? Next year you will be in your 3rd year of high school, and still in the mood to use your mobile phone? Hand in your mobile phone. The teacher in front of the podium scolded, hating Iron for being weak. The invasion was successful, you defeated the apostle Brother Big Hang. You have gained 75 points of spirituality, and you are returning to your chapter. Lin Sun grinned, but it's a pity that he only has 1 invasion bookmark, otherwise the income of PvP is obviously higher than that of PvE. Fighting with people is a lot of fun. He clicked on the inventory to check the rare item he had obtained before, the librarian's monocle. The librarian's monocle, rare item. This pair of glasses is carried by one of the administrator's countless avatars. Even if it is a mass-produced item, it is still very precious. After completing the chapter, go back to the library and give the glasses to the administrator, and he will give you rich rewards. Guardian bookmark. One-time item. If you successfully resist an invasion, you will get this bookmark. You can give this bookmark to your book friend, and when he is invaded, he can invite you to enter his chapter to resist the invasion together. Lin Sun carefully checked the item introduction. The amount of information revealed by these 2 items is undoubtedly enormous. First of all, after completing the chapter, you will return to a place called library. And the Guardian bookmark shows that it can be given to book friends. Book friends should be an operation similar to adding friends in the game, that is to say, this game has a social system. The library that you return to after completing the chapter is likely to be the place where the apostle players gather and socialize. I don't know how many apostles exist in real life. The bookshelves in the hall on the 2nd floor disappeared along with the black-cropped old man. There was nothing in the entire hall, except for a spiral staircase leading to the 3rd floor of the tower. Do you want to go to the third floor of the tower? You go up the stairs and come to the third floor of the tower. In the hall, stands a heavily armored knight in metal plate armor, with a big sword in both hands. Behind the blood-red cloak is a golden treasure chest. A dirty blood sun is engraved on the chest of the plate armor. Obviously, it is the backbone force of the Blood Sun Church Knight of Discipline. The scarlet eyes of the Knight of Discipline are staring at you, and you feel heavy pressure. What should you do? 1. Meditate. It can't see me, it can't see me. Back to the second floor of the tower. 2. Raise the dagger and strike hard, let it know what cruelty is. 3. Praise the sun. Seeing the heavy pressure displayed in the text, Lin Xuan became vigilant. He didn't choose to be tough rashly, but prudently started his old job praising the sun. You raise your hand and look at the ceiling, and you make tsk praises from time to time, but it seems that the blood sun cannot be seen in the tower. The Knight of Discipline draws out his two-handed sword and charges towards you. You are dead. Lin Xuan never expected that the flattering function, which has been tried and tested many times, was captured on the horse's legs this time. The familiar red characters reappeared on the screen. Death. You opened your eyes and found yourself reborn in a dilapidated church in the state of a wandering soul. The body of the nun lies in the church, and the body of the guardian knight is not dead, and can be possessed without consumption. But Lin Xuan didn't continue the game and put down his phone. With the body of a knight or a nun, it is estimated that before reaching the tower, it will be wiped down by the tide of the monster. He can only wait for the soul strength to recover at night, reshape the body of the Blood Sun believer, and then go to the small boss on the third floor of the tower to show off. With this in mind, Lin Xuan turned on the codeword software and continued the arduous journey of writing 4,000 words a day. Inside the rental house, there was the crackling sound of typing on the keyboard. Inside a modern minimalist office. Boom boom boom, come in. The young woman lying on the desk raised her head, her long black hair was tied into a high ponytail, revealing a delicate oval face. The woman has a pair of charming peach blossom eyes with a tear mole at the corner of the eye. But she looked cold and her eyes were indifferent during her glances. This temperament was incompatible with her peach blossom eyes. After sitting upright, the white shirt, black skirt, and slim OL attire fully outlined her exquisite curves. A petite and beautiful girl pushed the door in and locked the office door with her backhand. Diameter walked to the sofa and sat down, raised one fair calf, stretched his waist to reveal his small belly button, and said, "Leader, I haven't eaten hot pot for a long time, let's go eat instant boiled mutton tonight." This girl has a completely different style from the glamorous woman. She has short neck-length hair, a small baby face, glasses, and short-sleeved hot pants. She looks youthful and looks like a sunny girl. The glamorous woman continued to work at her desk, and said, "Okay, I'll listen to you." The short-haired girl nodded in satisfaction, stood up and bent over to the cold woman's ear, whispering, "Team Leader Li, there is a message from number 0. He has collected information on the target person. Tomorrow at the old place, he will hand over the information to you. Also, after this time, number 0 will request to withdraw from the undercover mission." The glamorous woman known as Team Leader Li was startled, and then said in relief, "That's right, number 0 is not an apostle after all, and doing this kind of undercover work may put his life in danger at any time." Team Leader Li untied the ponytail rubber band, his long hair was soft and loose, and his slender white fingers rubbed around his temples, looking a little tired. As long as this operation is successful, his file will be transferred back to the Public Security Department. As for the promotion, someone will naturally arrange for him. The short-haired girl walked up to the office chair, pushed Team Leader Li's fingers away, and massaged her gently, "But Team Leader, most of the apostles in our intelligence team are young ladies, and the only one with a handle has a mission. You let number 0 go, who will take over from him?" Team Leader Li closed his beautiful eyes in enjoyment, and leaned his head against the flat chest of the short-haired girl. "Twisted melons are not sweet, Xiao Qi, you and I will go see number 0 tomorrow. Oh. Xiao Qi, the short-haired girl, agreed and massaged her for a long time before leaving the office. Ugh! The glamorous woman sighed slightly and lost her mind. She didn't even seem to hear the phone ringing on the desk. Jingle bell, Lin Sun stopped his hands, and when he looked at the call note, it was Madam Boss, and quickly connected to the phone. Hey, Lady Boss, what can I do? Brat, no matter how big or small, call me Mom. A middle-aged woman's voice came from the receiver. Okay, Mom, hurry up and talk about something. I'm typing, and my inspiration was interrupted by you. Lin Sun turned on the hands-free phone, and continued typing on the keyboard. It's not that my mother said you, how much money can you make by writing that thing? I think you should come back to the store early, and the money won't be as much as if you stayed up late typing. On the phone, my mother's voice was chattering. Stop, stop. Ma'am, if you say this, I'll die. Lin Sun's parents run a supermarket. In the early years, the supermarket industry was relatively prosperous, and my parents made a fortune from a small supermarket. But in recent years, the supermarket industry has been going downhill. The few supermarkets newly opened by Lin Sun's parents suffered serious losses, and they closed down one after another, and all the money they earned from opening the stores was spent on them. Okay. It's fine if you don't come back. Your second aunt introduced a girl, you go and see. Stinky boy, I've made a deal with you. If you dare to refuse, you reading www.yuyuganshu.com will go home and look at the store. Lin Sun twitched the corner of his mouth. What is Mr. Liu Sun's theory of tearing down the roof? The proprietress is worthy of being the proprietress. That girl is fine, I advise you not to be ignorant. Your second aunt showed me the photo. She has a baby face and is very juicy. The girl is petite, but she has big buttocks. She must be easy to give birth to. It's just a little bit worse than when your mother was young. I will post later. Here's the picture for you, old cutie. Is it the kind of cuteness that can make you cry for a long time with one punch? Lin Sun couldn't help complaining, what nonsense are you talking about? The girl is a serious official in the public security department. If you want to cry, you will be beaten and cried. It just so happens that no one at home can cure you, so I will find you a wife. Tomorrow at 1:30, Shed Tea House. Come on time, do you hear me? Okay, I get it. Finally, Lin Sun hung up the phone. After a while, I received a message from my mother on my mobile phone. Luki, female, 22 years old, 1.6 meters tall, with a bachelor's degree, is now working as a security officer in the Chenxi Public Security Department, with a formal establishment, a monthly salary of 8,000, a car and a house, no siblings in the family, and parents are. My mother compiled a series of data professionally. Only the photos sent after the text messages are still loading and cannot be opened. It seems that this girl should not look very good, and my mother has started to play tricks. Lin Sun glanced at it and continued to type. After a long time, the long code word work was over, and there were 2 epic chapters of 2,000 words. Lin Sun nodded in satisfaction and clicked to publish the chapters. It's getting dark outside the window, and it's almost game time. He quickly logged into the Book of Salvation. You have entered the Doomsday chapter. Chapter 323. You open your eyes and find yourself waking up in a dilapidated church in a state of wandering spirit. The bright moonlight shines through the dome of the church hole, and the dark clouds in the night sky can be vaguely suppressed, and the cold wind roars bitterly, like the roar of a demon in the abyss. The time in the game seems to be in sync with the real world. This is the 3rd time Lin Sun has logged into the game, and the scenes in the game have also changed with the passage of time. You consume 1 point of soul strength to reshape the body of the sinking blood sun cultist. Current soul strength 1/2. Lin Sun continued the game process, opened the door to beat Sap, and headed to the east. As expected, the tide of monsters has indeed been revived. These are juicy little cabbages. His eyes brightened, and he continued his joyful journey of harvesting vegetables. You have defeated the sinking blood sun cultist, and the experience value has increased slightly. The power in the body begins to boil, and the body level of the sinking blood sun cultist has increased. The current body level, 9. The monsters around have been slaughtered, you don't have to pretend to praise the sun anymore. After harvesting the dishes this time, the quality of the items dropped by the monsters dropped significantly. They were all waste products, with no spiritual drops, and no special props. Is it bad luck this time, or repeated spawning will reduce the quality of the drop? Lin Sun manipulated the body of the blood sun cultist, and continued to advance, entering the tower. The wolf dog on the first floor of the tower has not been revived, and the wolf dog's body has disappeared. He went straight to the third floor of the tower. The Knights of Discipline of the Church of the Blood Sun appear again, but this time the optional text is different from before. In the hall, stands a heavily armored knight in metal plate armor, with a big sword in both hands. Behind the blood-red cloak is a golden treasure chest. A dirty blood sun is engraved on the chest of the plate armor. Obviously, it is the backbone force of the Blood Sun Church Knight of Discipline. The scarlet eyes of the Knight of Discipline are staring at you, and you feel heavy pressure. What should you do? 1. Meditate. It can't see me, it can't see me. Back to the second floor of the tower. 2. Raise the dagger and strike hard, let it know what cruelty is. 3. Pretend to pass by, bypass the commandment knight, and climb the stairs leading to the fourth floor of the tower. The third option has changed from flattering to detours. Lin Sun's heart is full of galloping horses. If he had this option when he met for the first time, I guess I would still choose to praise the sun. Click on the third option, and go to the fourth floor of the tower first, so as not to waste a life if you haven't fought the Knights of Discipline. You pretend to be passing by, without looking at the Knight of Discipline, and approach the spiral staircase on tiptoe. The Knight of Discipline has been following you with his eyes, but his footsteps have not moved. He still stands upright, guarding the golden treasure chest behind him. You climbed up the stairs and climbed to the top of the tower. Thick clouds can't stop the bright moonlight, and the shining white light falls on this circular open-air platform. The huge bright and clean crescent moon sculpture that was originally placed in the center of the platform has been transformed into a filthy blood sun sculpture, and the scarlet aura lingers around the blood sun. Would you like to step forward and touch the statue of the filthy blood sun? If you touch it, it won't be a dog, right? Lin Sun hesitated. However, there seems to be no other choice at the moment, either go downstairs and confront the Knight of Discipline, or touch it. You stride forward, the scarlet breath surrounds you. Your hands have touched the statue of Dirty Blood Day. A filthy force gradually infects your body, and a crazy will occupies your mind. Your connection with the Dirty Blood Day has deepened, and you have been watched by an inexplicable existence. Your body deforms into distorted organs, thus comprehending a new skill, the pineal gland. Bloody pineal gland, excellent level skill. Worship the gift brought to you by the filthy blood sun with all your heart. Under the blood sun, devout believers will get a temporary level +5 gain. You found that there seems to be a bright red gem inlaid in the center of the round sun of the statue of the foul blood Sunday. What is your next move? 1. The gemstone with strange luster is very valuable at first glance, so use a dagger to pry the gemstone off. 2. Sincerely worship the statue of Dirty Blood Day, knock your head 3 times, thank you for its gift to you. 3. Spread your hands, pretend nothing happened, and quietly retreat to the third floor of the tower, hiding your achievements and fame. Lin Sun had just acquired a new skill, and before he could be happy, a multiple-choice question popped up in the game text. Reason told him that options 2 and 3 were slightly more normal options. But the current situation is as if you are playing LOL. The stone man suddenly made a big move, knocking 5 enemies into the air, as Yasuo, Can you hold back? It's a big deal to waste a life. Lin Xuan decisively chose the first option. The greedy apostle, after all, still couldn't restrain the desire in his heart. You climb up the sculpture and pry the bright ruby off with your dagger. You got the blood sun gem, epic, epic? Lin Xuan raised his eyebrows when he heard it. The text of the game jumps rapidly. You desecrated the bloody sun sculpture. You will be hunted down endlessly by the Blood Day Church Discipline Knights. Heavy footsteps are approaching you, and the Knight of Discipline has appeared behind you at some point. Scarlet eyes revealed fury. The Knight of Discipline drew out his two-handed sword and charged at you. You are dead. This is seeking benevolence and obtaining benevolence, and death is worthy of death, right? Lin Xuan looked at the big death on the screen, but his heart was very excited. You opened your eyes and found yourself reborn in a dilapidated church in a state of wandering spirit. Quickly click on the inventory to check the epic props you just got. Blood Sun Gem, epic item. The worship of countless fallen believers made the fallen power of the filthy Blood Sun sculpture condensed into this bright red gem. After using it, you will gain 1 divinity. Divinity? It sounds similar to spirituality, but is it also some kind of currency? I'm looking for a click to use. You used the Blood Sun Gem, epic. You have gained 1 point of divinity. You have unlocked the Apostle panel. Another new feature? Lin Xuan clicked on the Apostle panel. Soul Imprint, Swordsmith Soul Strength, 1/2 Soul Talent. There are many faces and faces. Your soul has unique tastes, all-inclusive, and everyone is welcome. Possession of any body can be done with ease. Talent effect, greatly increase the compatibility with the body, plus 15%, the body field plus 1 holy object, none body slot, 2 halves. Sinking Blood Sun cultists, guardian knights of the White Moon Church. For the time being, I don't have time to care about what the holy object is, just because Lin Xuan saw an extra plus sign behind his soul talent. Could it be? Lin Xuan pressed the plus button with full expectation. You consume 1 point of divinity, soul talent level plus 1. Soul talent, thousands of faces and faces plus 1, your soul has a unique taste, all-inclusive, and everyone is welcome. UU reading www.uuganshu.com. It is easy to possess any body. Talent effect, greatly increase the compatibility with the body, plus 25%, the body field plus 2. With the improvement of the talent level in the game, Lin Xuan in reality also felt a shock. The fatigue caused by staying up all night was swept away, and some changes seemed to have taken place in his body. He went to the bathroom and found himself in the mirror seemed to have become more handsome. The dark circles under the eyes caused by cultivating immortals all the year round have disappeared, and the eyes that are slightly short-sighted and dull have become bright, as if there is a real light in the eyes. He was not bad, and he would often find piles of anonymous love letters in his desk in high school. When he was in college, he was stopped by his senior sister just after the freshman reported and asked him if he wanted to join the modeling agency. In the end, it was easy to talk, and they exchanged contact information before letting him go. This is considered handsome enough to break through the critical point? Well, I guess it's just a little bit worse than my readers. Lin Xuan rubbed his face, picked up his phone, and returned to the game. In the Apostle panel, the shell slot has been changed to 2/3, and the compatibility bonus of all shells has become plus 25%. This time I made a lot of money. Lin Xuan has the ecstasy of winning the lottery, and the talent of thousands of faces is undoubtedly the foundation of his game. Not to mention the increase in the body space, just talk about the 25% increase in compatibility. According to this rhythm of upgrading, in the future, no matter whether it is a humanoid monster or not, as long as it can be defeated, Lin Xuan will be able to possess the body. However, the game text that continued to be displayed made him froze for a moment. Heavy footsteps approaching you, the Knight of Discipline has appeared outside the church door at some point? 3 question marks slowly appeared on Lin Xuan's forehead. Heavy footsteps are approaching you, and the Knight of Discipline has appeared outside the church door at some point. Lin looked for a spirit, and quickly clicked on the body of the Guardian Knight. Since the Guardian Knight did not die last time, this time he can possess without consuming soul strength. The Knight of Discipline stood quietly at the door of the church, his scarlet eyes revealing incomparable fury. What should you do? 1. Shouting at the gate of the church, I jumped out, oops. I jumped in again, hit me, you idiot. 2. Submit to the commanding knight, Happy New Year, brother and sister-in-law, you are my master, and I am your son. 3. Hide in the church, maybe the commandment knights cannot set foot in this Baihu church. Lin Xuan automatically ignored the first two yin and yang options, and silently chose 3. The disciplined knight raised his foot and was about to step into the church, but it seemed to be blocked by an invisible iron wall, unable to enter an inch. It stands at the door of the church and refuses to leave, its scarlet eyes are always locked on you. Am I being guarded? Lin Xuan can already imagine the scene in the game. He was inside the church, and the Knight of Discipline was outside the church, with big eyes and small eyes, one person and one strange, holding hands and looking at teary eyes, choking speechlessly. It's at a dead end again, even a level 9 Blood Sun cultist can't beat the Knights of Discipline, let alone Guardian Knights and Sisters of the Choir. Just as Lin Xuan was about to exit the game, he suddenly caught sight of the new skill he learned by touching the Blood Sun sculpture on the top floor of the tower. Bloody Pineal Gland, excellent level skill. Worship the gift brought to you by the filthy Blood Sun with all your heart. Under the Blood Sun, devout believers will get a temporary level +5 gain. Okay? He was overjoyed, that is to say, when the game goes online during the daytime tomorrow, when the Blood Sun is high in the game, the body of the Blood Sun cultist will be blessed with a level +5 buff. But after thinking about it, he seemed to have desecrated the Blood Sun sculpture on the top of the tower just now, and he didn't know if the dirty Blood Sun would consider him a pious believer. Right now there is no room for manipulation, Lin Xuan can only quit the game and wait for the sun to rise tomorrow. Boss, bring me a fried rice and a bowl of white porridge, take it away. Lin Xuan stopped running and stopped at the door of the breakfast shop. Looking at the completed 10 km run on the upper screen of the phone, he nodded in satisfaction. The effect brought about by the improvement of talent in the game has also improved his physical fitness, and he can run 10 km in one breath without even sweating. I ran all the way home and took a shower. In front of the computer desk, I opened the freshly packed fried buns. As soon as the plastic lunch box was opened, a hot aroma overflowed. The snow-white and fluffy pan-fried buns are topped with distinct black sesame seeds and emerald green scallions. Pick up a steamed stuffed bun, the golden and crispy bottom makes people very appetizing. After one bite, the soft half-baked noodles are slightly chewy, and the firm meat filling with skin jelly squeezes out a delicious soup instantly, with a thin bottom and a crispy texture. Lin Xuan would like to call this mouthful of juicy pan-fried buns happiness. After enjoying a delicious breakfast, he is about to start coding. Unexpectedly, I received a text message from the proprietress. Son, come to the store and drive your dad's car. Remember to tidy up for the blind date in the afternoon. Smiling expression with downcast eyes. Lin Xuan was speechless. Come on, Mom, Dad's classic car with a manual transmission. If there is an Autobot school, it can even take the high school entrance examination, so just let it go. Then you drive your uncle's car. That's not what I meant, I'll be there in the afternoon, don't worry. We have agreed, if you dare to release the pigeons of the little girl like the last blind date, you will be interrupted by the dog legs. Smiling expression. Lin Xuan put down his phone speechlessly and started the 4,000 word long march. Today, he feels that his thoughts are springing up, and his inspiration is endless like a diabetes insipidus. I don't know how long it has been. Ding dong. It was a text message from my mother. Did you see the girl? Didn't my mother lie to you? Isn't she very juicy? Oops. Lin Sun checked the time, it was 1:40 in the afternoon. It has been more than 10 minutes since the agreed time of the blind date. Quickly tidied up his clothes and hurried downstairs. I bought a cup of milk tea at the milk tea shop downstairs as an apology for being late. He flagged down a roadside taxi. Master, please drive faster, there is something urgent. When Lin Sun arrived at the tea house, it was almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The one in front of me is called a tea house, rather than a tea house. The tea house is built in the style of a small garden, simple and elegant, with curved corridors and bridges, and gurgling water, which is quite ancient. Upon entering the door, the beautiful waiter in Cheongsam bowed deeply. Sir, do you have a reservation? Yes, my name is Linear. Okay, Mr. Lin, this way please, in tea room 404. Following the waiter around and around, it took a while to reach the destination. Pushing open the door of the private room, there are two women sitting behind the tea table. Blind date with girlfriends? Don't say anything in advance. Lin Sun frowned slightly. This is great, the milk tea in my hand is too embarrassing to give away, not worrying about scarcity but unevenness. Sorry for being late. Lin Sun took his seat, seeing the appearance of the two women in front of him, his eyes brightened. The left has neck-length short hair, glasses, and a delicate and beautiful face. She is petite, probably around 1.6 meters. With a baby face and a small stature, at first glance one may think she is an underage girl. If you look closely, you can see that she is in her early 20s. This should be the real master, but didn't my mother say and big butts? Is this too big for an A? Lin Sun couldn't help complaining secretly that the proprietress was unreliable. The female girlfriend on the right looks a little mature, about 25 or 6. She has smooth black straight long hair that reaches her waist, an oval face, watery peach blossom eyes, her plump are wrapped in a white shirt, and her long legs protruding from the hip wrapping skirt are wrapped in black silk. Just sitting is a head taller than the girl next to her, and her height is estimated to be over 1.75 meters. The fly in the ointment is that the girlfriend's expression is quite cold, and her eyes sweep Lin Sun up and down, with a sense of scrutiny. This is not where you should come, get out. The female best friend said suddenly. Lin Sun was startled, was it so direct? He didn't follow the procedure, and he was passed before he even said his income. He originally completed every blind date according to the way of handing in the task. On weekdays blind date, even if he has a good face, as soon as the girl hears his code word income, the two of them will enter the GG process tacitly. Waiter, you reading www.yuyugonshu.com, you received the wrong one. Before the girlfriend could finish speaking, she was interrupted by an alarm. Lin Sun took out his phone, unlocked it and cancelled the alarm. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which was the alarm he set for the game to go live. Li Xiu, Sister Li, wait a minute. The short-haired girl, who is also the master, suddenly said, you've been late for so long, let's get to the point. As she spoke, she seemed to wink at her girlfriend, who frowned, and then said nothing. That's right, the master didn't speak, why are you a wingman so excited? Ms. Lu, right? I already know about your situation, and I believe the introducer has already told you about my situation. The introducer is not very clear, please explain again. The short-haired girl smiled sincerely, looked straight into Lin Sun's eyes, her cheeks were slightly red, and her eyes were a little shy. Lin Sun was helpless and could only briefly describe it. That's roughly the case. My main job is to write web articles, and my income is not stable. You should not be satisfied, so let's stop here. The short-haired girl shook her head, blushed even more, and hurriedly waved her hands. No, 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 I'm not that kind of materialistic girl. I'm very satisfied with your conditions. If you don't mind, can you leave a contact information? Lin Sun didn't react for a while, and the lines on his lips got stuck. This time he met a female guest who didn't follow the routine. Lin Xuan walked out of the private room in a daze, and was bumped into the shoulder by a man wearing a peaked cap and sunglasses, but he didn't even react. "Excuse me." As he walked out of the gate of the tea house, countless thoughts flashed through his mind. What should I do? What should my mother say? Why are there still people who don't play cards according to the routine? And so on.